So hey guys, it's Kugli again with another video, and this time I've got something special for you guys, so stay tuned for that. So guys, we all know that the dash charging has come to CyanogenMod ROMs recently, and dash charging does work out. It's one of the best features of the OnePlus 3 phone. And naturally, the first question is that, well, maybe not the first question, but one of the questions which comes to your mind is how well does it work on a custom ROM? Being a proprietary software, not really governed by a chip manufacturer like Qualcomm with their Qualcomm Quick Charge, it could be kind of a proprietary thing, and people may not be able to get the charges they are requesting with their device. So I wanted to answer that question. At least I wanted to try that with my device, and I just wanted to get some answers regarding that. Quick charging, which is basically dash charging, actual charging unit is the one which has a lot of the processing happening. So I set out to do a bit of a test with a CyanogenMod based ROM, and in this case I was using the CyanogenMod Snapshot. I did previously do the same test with another CyanogenMod ROM, and the results were pretty much the same thing. And the CyanogenMod ROM has dash charging enabled. I am using the stock kernel which came with the CyanogenMod ROM. It is Snapshot, mind you, so that's probably the most stable version of CyanogenMod, which is official. So you have that. And for the OxygenOS experience, I have used the Freedom OS 1.4.1, which has the latest version of OxygenOS in it, which is 3.2.4, and that also is with stock kernel. I did not use a custom kernel for that because I understand that may enter in a different variable which I didn't want in this video. Now, the method of my testing was something which has been tried out before, but the way I test is that I let the battery drain to about, well, I drain it fully and then charge it to about 3 to 4% of charge. Now 4% is what I selected because below 3% the phone shuts off. I don't want the phone to shut off. I put it in airplane mode and I charge it, taking in note the time which the entire length of the time which took it to charge to 100% and the time it took to charge to about 60 to 70%, because most of these quick charging facilities like Dash and Quick Charge 3.0 works best at very low voltages or very low charge, like 5%, 10%, 15%, up to a good enough charge like 60 to 70%, and that is where the milliamps will be at the best, like 3600 or 3800 milliamps for the best charging possibility. But once it's past 80%, it cuts down on the milliamps, and you can actually see that from the experience and from the log. So yeah, now first things first, I tried the CyanogenMod ROM. I discharged the ROM, I charged it up to 4% on a regular socket, and after that I selected or connected the dash charger, and I just let it loose. Now I have my battery monitor widget, which is an amazing software, at polling at every 60 seconds. So it will be polling and recording the graph for every 60 seconds. So I understand how much charge is getting into the phone at every 60 seconds. Also, I check myself at about every 15 minutes or so to see that the quick charging is happening and how much charge it is happening. So you'll be probably seeing that, and you can understand that it is charging pretty quickly. And the milliamps, where I use two softwares. First one is the battery monitor widget, and the other one was Ampere because it gives you a very good interface for all that stuff, and it works nicely. I like that. The charging, I started charging at about 6:47 in the morning, and that's when the 4% charge was recorded, and it was charging till about 8 o'clock. It's about 7:50 to 8 o'clock. So it took about an hour and 15 minutes almost to charge it to 100%. Now it does charge up to 60% or 70% in the case of CyanogenMod fairly quickly. I mean, in the half an hour you do get about 70%, 60 to 70% of charge in the device in airplane mode. So that is something amazing. I really like that. After a certain level of charging, it does slow down the charging cycle. The milliamps pumped into the phone is quite lower, and it's not nowhere near the 3000 milliamp or 3500 milliamp which it was getting earlier. So there will be a different current, so that is why it takes much longer to charge the last 10 to 20% on your phone. So just so you know. Then it was time for the OxygenOS to show what it's made of. Now I loaded up OxygenOS, drained everything, drained the full phone with an application called Battery Drainer, which just loads up the CPU, loads up the flash, and well, in about 4 hours it was drained completely. And I'm really surprised with the battery life which I got with this, with Freedom OS again. So yeah, just so you guys know. And I drained it completely, charged it up to 4% again. Then I started recharging it with dash charger again. Now the change which I observed immediately with dash charging on the OxygenOS is that the current pumped into it was noticeably 200 milliamps higher. I mean, the maximum current which I saw with CyanogenMod was about 3400, 3420 maybe. But with Freedom OS, I did see, at least in the logs, about 3600, 3650 milliamp being pumped into it. So that does kind of make it a better worthwhile go. So that is pretty much it with the starting of the quick charge. Now this is a graph which I have of the OxygenOS which I have charged. So as you can see, up to about 80-85% it charges like, I mean, crazy. It is at full throttle at about 80%. It starts to get down a little bit, and then it critical charges so that your device does not explode in a wave of fire. So that is something which I really appreciated in this ROM. Now I kind of misplaced my graph for CyanogenMod. Maybe delete it, but I will be showing you guys the pictures of it, so just so you guys know. Now in the CyanogenMod ROM, the curve cuts off quite early. I mean, at about 75 the curve starts going haywire. So that is something which I wanted to differentiate. The OxygenOS allows the current to be drawn up to 85% before it shuts down the current. So something there. And again, just load the time. I started charging at about 3 o'clock maybe. Yeah, it is about 3 o'clock, and it was at 100% at about 4:15. So the overall charge time is not much different. The overall charge time was again about 1 hour and 15 minutes. The overall charge time does not take a lot of hit. But what does differ is the amount of charge which the phone took up in the amount of up to which charge it is able to take the full ampere of the 4000 milliamp brick. So on CyanogenMod it tried to kick out about 10% earlier, but on this one it was going till about 85. So what does that mean? It means that the OxygenOS just allows the phone to take up more charge per charge than the CyanogenMod ROM. Dash charging is still working, and dash charging does give charge your entire phone in about an hour, and you will get half a day or full day maybe, because 60% charge is pretty much amazing for in about 30 minutes. So that is a really good claim, and it is real. So I guess that should conclude how the charging is. Also just wanted to tell you guys the temperature of the device when I was charging it. The maximum temperature was at 41.6 degrees Celsius, which is not a very high temperature for the battery to get. Honestly, I mean, on my Z3 it can get up to 50, 55, 60. So this is quite cooler in comparison to that. And the temperature is not much problem, just so you guys know. And it just drops down and idles at about 30. The average is about 38.5. So just so you guys know. So I guess that much is it about the test. Now again, in conclusion, I just want to tell you guys, both of the ROMs offer the dash charging as it is supposed to be. It charges your phone up to 60%, 60 to 70% in half an hour, full charge at about in about 1/115th of an hour. So you get that charge with both the ROMs. There isn't much difference. What I found in the difference is that charging with the OxygenOS up to 80-85% is much quicker rather than charging to about 60-70% with the OnePlus 3's ROM. So now I understand this is not the most scientific form of getting the results about this, but this is what I understand, and this is what I am going to use as my basis for determining how the charging works in both these ROMs. So yeah, I guess that much is it about this video and comparison between the dash charging and same technology within, because of the different software implementation. So yeah, I guess that much is it about the ROM. Hope you guys like the video. Please share, subscribe and like the video if you found it useful. See you guys next time. Bye.